Hello, everyone. My name is Jerry Yasser, and I'm a Microsoft MVP for Office Apps and Services. I work at DXC Technology as an Office 365 architect. In today's video, we'll look at the next thing that the traditional way of managing the role assignments that people have been using for some time. In the last video, I showed you how you can manage roles using Office 365. And just to remind you, it's pretty simple. You can go to either the Office 365 Admin Center, or you can go to the Azure AD Admin Center, and you can just go to the Manage Roles and select the role, add the user, and that's simple. But the things can get complicated if you want to manage it through some groups, Office 365 administrator roles, using a security group. I'll show you using a PowerShell script. So let's jump into the code. So I'll let me go in and create a new file. So I'm right here, and I'll save it as my script. I'll call it the um, manage Azure AD group membership. The first thing, of course, I need is the sorry, I saved it as a TXT, so I'll save it as a PowerShell script so that there you go. All right, so now the first thing I need to connect to Azure AD. So I have the Azure AD PowerShell installed. I don't have the preview installed. I'm using a tenant, which is a trial tenant. So I'll log in first time. This is the global admin account. Of course, you can save the credential if you need it. So once I log in, the first thing I need is create a new security group. So to create a group, I'll call it my security readers. So I'll call it security readers. I'll say new dash Azure AD group, and I'll name it display name. I'll give it um, global security readers, and I will call it they are not enabled. This is something that I don't like about this. They're false, and their mail nickname is, although not needed, but if they are kind of a required field, I'll say global security readers, and I'll say they are security enabled. True. And with that, if I want to add any description, I can add it mail the group to manage the security readers at Contoso. All right, so this is the it will create a new security group. I'll run it. So now our group has been created. So you see that I saved that object because I will be reusing it in future. The next thing I need is the members. So I've done some pre-work. I loaded some of the members in the in a CSV. So let me just load it quickly. So I'll call it members, and I'll call it get dash sorry, import Excel, and I'll call it path. It's in the C temp, and I have global admins there. I call the name global admins, and you can see that in the members I have these three people: Adele, Alex, and Alan. So now the next thing I need to do is I need to add those three users in the security admin. So the process is simple. I'll just need to create a for each statement. I'll say sec admins in members, and I will say the next line I need is add dash Azure AD um, group member, and then I'll pass the object ID, and this is the object ID of the group. So I'll say security readers, sorry, security readers dot object ID, and then the reference object ID, which is the name of um, the user. So I'll say dollar stack admin. So right now, the stack admin is not loaded, but I'll say let me remove that S in it. Stack admin dot, and you can see that right here I have this user ID. So I'll say user ID and I'll call verbose and then I will run it. And this will add the three people as the members of that group. And now if I just say get dash Azure AD group member, and then I say dollar security leaders dot object ID, you can see that the three members are there. Now, the next thing I need to do, I need to find the security role where I will be adding that those users. So for that, I'll need to find those roles. So let's say the neat thing the command that I have to run is get dash Azure AD directory role. So if I run that command, you can see that this tenant has only three roles that have been used. The role that I want to use is security administrators or security admins, but that is not there. So, but the thing is, you using the PowerShell script, you have to first enable that role. So it's not that complicated. It's very simple. First thing you need is the template. So it'll say selected role, and you can call it get dash or selected role. I'll call it template. As the get dash Azure AD directory role, and I'll call it template. Sorry, I think I'm missing directory, get Azure AD directory role template, and I'll to access it easily, I will pass on pipe it to out dash grid view, and then I'll still pass through, and then I run it. It'll just went outside my window because I have a large widescreen monitor. Now here are my roles that I can use. So I'll use the filter. I'll say security reader, and you can see I have security readers here or security administrators. So I can pick security administrators, for example, and I click OK. And now I have a template loaded right here as security admin. Now I need to enable it. The next enable is simple one-line command. So I'll say, uh, first I need to pass on that object into another variable so I can reuse it in future. So I'll say selected role this time, and I'll call it, I'll say enable dash Azure AD directory role, and then I'll say minus role template ID. I'll say and pass on the selected template dot object ID. And when I run this command, it will enable that role. So if I run this command again, get directory role, you can see that the security administrator's role has been added in my list. So the last thing I need to do is I need to add those people, the members of my security group into those roles, which is again very simple. So I'll use another for each. I like for each because it gives me access to the object. So I'll say security admins admin in, I'll call it, I have the object somewhere. I think it's security readers. So if I run this command again, um, I need to first make sure that I can get their members. So if I go back here, I can pass it. I'll say my security group members, and I run this command, and you can see that this object now has all of the members in there. So I can pass this object right here. All right, and then I close it. And if I just run it just in case to verify, I can select it and run it, and you can see the same result. But this is not exactly what I want to do. I want to actually add it. So I'll say add dash Azure AD directory role member, and then I'll say object ID, and that will be my selected role. So I'll say selected role dot object ID, and then I'll say the reference object ID, which is actually the administrator that I want to add. So I'll say object ID. Now, this is how you add the members in that role. So if I want to get the members of that role, I can actually say get dash Azure AD directory role members, and I say object ID, and I'll say selected role dot object ID. So if you see, if I run it again, now my members have been added. Now, if I want to verify this in the Azure AD Admin Center, I can actually go there right here, and I can go to the roles. You can see these are the admins that I recently worked. So if I see that, if I search for security, um, let me go back to here you go, security admin. And I say there are three administrators, and I say assigned admins. And you can see that Alex, Alan, and Adil all are added as security admin. So the removal process is exactly the same. There's nothing fancy about it. You can actually remove it the same way. You can, we can kind of reuse the same script that we have here, technically right here. We can come back and instead of using add, we can say remove, and the remaining objects are kind of same, but there is a little bit difference in the way you remove it. This object ID is remain the same, but you can't pass reference object ID. Rather, you will have to pass the member ID, and member ID is that security admin dot object ID. So there's a minor change in the name of the parameter, but remaining everything is same. Now the users have been removed. So if I go back and I refresh and I search for it again, security admin, the name confuses you, and you can see that admins are now 0. So in this script, what we did is we found a way of adding the some of our tenant users in a security group using PowerShell. Then we enabled an Azure Active Directory role using PowerShell, and we added and removed users to this role, all using Azure AD PowerShell. So with that, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy. In the next video, we'll look at how you can use a security group to assign roles in Office 365. See you.